Hey everyone, I have a super fun video for you with an awesome giveaway we'll get to in just a minute. We are going to start off with one of these little houses. They're like a thick like MDF board house kind of thing. I've had it for a while. I went ahead and took off all of the stuff off the front of it, and we're just going to paint that in Waverly chalk paint and plaster. And I did this because I was like, well, I don't want to worry about anything coming through where you could see it. I don't know why I was worried about it because this paper is thick. And we're just gonna, of course, Mod Podge that paper down. I'm going with a lot of plaids on this little house trio that you'll see in just a minute. We're just going to plop that paper right down there, trying to keep it kind of level so that my, checkers and plaid isn't all over the place. And now here's a couple of alternatives. I've got a really long arrowed sign and a shorter arrow sign, like a shorter, stubbier one. And we're going to do a couple of different paper options on those, and I'm just going to show you on this one. I went ahead and also did a coat of Mod Podge on the front as well, and we're just going to clean up the sides. It's really up to you. Some people like to sandpaper it. Some people not sandpaper it. Yep, that's a word apparently. And I'm just going to clean up all my edges. It's just really, like I said, the way to do this is just really up to you and your preference. I like to take my little X-Acto knife and clean it all up. And once we're done with that, I'm going to show you all three of them, and we're going to kind of stack them up, get a really cute little vignette, if you will, just to make it, something kind of cute. We're just finding the right arrangement. Now on that tall arrow sign, my paper wasn't quite long enough, so what I did is I actually just kind of like left off the bottom part of it because we're going to cover that up anyways. And we're just going to do, a pretty hefty amount of hot glue. And I'm going to keep the thicker of those houses kind of up in the front. And I don't know why, but I felt the need just to fill in that hole. Like I said, I'm not really sure why. It didn't really do anything for me, but I just was like, yeah, let's just do that. And then see how we're going to just position that tall house in the back to cover up that little, hole, little gap. And I'm going to add a little scrap piece of wood just because I wanted to sit a little bit more flush, and that one little house in the back was keeping it from doing that. So that'll help us get a little bit better, adherence and all that. And we're just going to put a hefty amount of glue down. Now you could use wood glue too, but hot glue works just fine. And once that is on there and is kind of like, set up a little bit, we're just going to take some twine and we're just going to kind of wrap it all around. I'm going to secure it in the back because I do want it to stay, in the spot that I put it in. And I don't know what it was today, but I was like all thumbs with that twine. So we're just going to wrap it up and get it in exactly the spot that I want it. Just thinking, I was like, I want to see a little bit of it. I want it coming from different angles. And like I said, I was just like all thumbs doing it. So are you guys like that sometimes where you do like the simplest of things and you're like, I don't know why my hands just do not want to do what I want them to do. So there we go. Now we've got kind of like the general idea of it. I'll put a little bit of glue just to secure that last little bit, and we're going to just make, like a little bow on the front side, not the back side that you're looking at right now. I just wanted to make sure that twine was pretty well secured. And we're just going to do a very simple little shoestring bow, cut off our little excess on the bottom, and we're just going to glue it on the front. You can obviously tie it, if you want to when you're actually putting the twine on. This is just the way I went with it. And here it is all finished up, and it looks so stinking cute. All right, so now on to the next one. I have just a little piece of wood round. I believe I got it from Target. Painted it white, or not painted it white. I painted it in the same color, the plaster from Waverly. And I've got this really cute printout. I will link it for you below, and that way you can print it out if you would like to. It's square. You just have to cut out, your circle part. And I'm just gonna Mod Podge it down. I have learned, since this is just printed on, if you Mod Podge on top of it, it will smear the ink. So I'm not going to do that because I did it once and messed it up. So don't Mod Podge on top of something you printed, or I don't know. If there's a trick to it, you guys will have to let me know. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this antique wax from Folk Art, and I'm just going to kind of go over it just to give it a little bit of like a dirtier, rustic-ish kind of look, you know? I thought that the Home Sweet Home was really sweet just because it's very classic, very, you know, traditional. And my little picture here that I've got linked for you is just a little bit of like a, I don't know what to call it, like a little pine tree and some lights, and I just thought it was just a nice little touch, and we're gonna like really dress it up here in just a minute. And I mixed a little bit of that plaster chalk paint with the wax just to tone down it a little bit. And I'm taking these picks, I've have them left over from last year, and we're just gonna start kind of gluing them around just to give it a little something extra, to add a little more, you know, specialness. I don't really know what to call it. We're just gonna add, you know, a nice little bit of this on there because I felt like, you know, I wanted it to be all different little sprigs in there because I just thought it was just kind of sweet and kind of cute, and I didn't want it to be all the same. Originally I actually started off with like one of those Dollar Tree garlands, and I was like, okay, this looks a little too fake, so I thought this was really sweet and cute. A nice little touch. These are really going to be fun for Christmas when they get closer, but a lot of these don't scream Christmas, you know what I mean? Like if you put these out once it starts to get kind of cold, you'll be just fine. You know, it doesn't have to say, you know, it doesn't scream Christmas. It has, you know, snow on it. So for some of our northern friends, which you all know I don't live up north, you know, this could be a nice little thing to make for, you know, like October. Not that you'd really likely put it out in October, but it snows in October in a lot of places. Not where I live. I live in Orlando, Florida, so it does not snow here ever, really. So sometimes it's just nice to have it in your decor so that you can feel like, you know, you get a little bit of that Christmassy feeling, even though it's 80 degrees outside. My husband was so funny when I was doing this. He's like, you of all people don't have to worry about not feeling like it's Christmas time. The weather's not that different now than it will be for Christmas. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. It's sad, but true. All right, so now that the front part is pretty much done, I'm just going to add a little bit of twine to the back. I just made like a knot in it, made a little loop, and I'll just add, and I should have done this first, but you know, c'est la vie, we do what we do. And I'll just add my glue and have it set and ready to hang up for our Christmas and July celebrations, of course. Here it is, all finished though. And now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the giveaway. So today's video is part of a Christmas in July playlist. I've got some wonderful friends for you to go check out their videos. Make sure you work through everyone's videos on the playlist. Make sure you comment on everyone's video. That will have you entered into the giveaway to win a $50 Amazon gift card so you can do some Christmas in July shopping. And all the details will be listed for you below in the description box about, you know, when it's closing, when it's announced, all of that. And let's go ahead and get back into our DIYs. All right, on to our final project. The lighting washed out a little bit, so it's a little funny. Sorry. I have one of these little drawers from Dollar Tree. I went ahead and just gave it a full coat in the Waverly chalk paint and plaster. And now I'm going to take some of the wood tint from Folk Art in the color gray. I really like this for, like, not necessarily like antiquing, that was with the bunny ears, of course, but to kind of distress a little bit because it's not overpowering, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a little bit, and sometimes just a little bit is just enough. There's your little Theresa B quote of the day. So like I said, I like to add this. It just gives it a little touch of it without going overboard. And I really would have loved to have left the wood color that this little box already was, but I knew there was no way I could get it to kind of like repeat that same look on my little window. So I just kind of went with it. It had to be this white, you know, chalk paint. And now we are going to kind of take that same wood tint and do it all over the frame. This way we are going to just kind of give it an overall little rustic-y feeling, not too much, just a little bit. And it's just going to kind of bring it all in together, make it look like it's supposed to be all together, because we're going to attach them here in just a minute once I'm done giving you your painting lesson for the day, I guess. So I went ahead and tried to make sure I got all of the edges all around. You know, I didn't want to leave one spot all stark white. I added my hardware back onto the front, and next we're just going to glue this sucker together. And it almost matches up, you know what I mean? Like the edges of it are almost like really nicely, like they almost meet up the way it should if it was all made together. And then we're just going to kind of decorate it, make it look really cute and pretty. I've got some of these little red bells. I thought it would be cute just to add a little pop of red in here, because I've got a little bit of a pop of red on my second project. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit on to that first project just to kind of tie it in. You'll see it in the pictures because I haven't made them yet. And I'm just going to tie my twine around on the bell. I wanted to leave like a little knot so that they wouldn't sit right next to each other, you know what I mean? Like I wanted it to stop at a certain point, so they kind of hung just in a certain way. So we're going to get those all situated, and I'm going to just kind of glue them there in the middle to give you like a little spot to have them hanging from. Just kind of finding the right spot. I needed to go up a little bit higher, so I just kind of, you know, spun my twine around just to get it right. And another little shoestring bow. I wasn't in the crazy, you know, bow tying types of mood today, so I just went with the simplest of options. Now I've got this filler. You can actually find it right now at Dollar Tree. Found it recently. And so I'm just going to put that in my little box with just a couple of extra bells, and we will be done with this project, and we are all finished up with the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love making these really cute little Christmas and July stuff. Don't forget, if you're new here, to subscribe. I would love to have you. And don't forget to enter into the giveaway. And check out all of our other videos on the playlist. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I will see you next time.